Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Spanning the Need. Today, we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk with the Executive Director of Youngstown CityScape, Sharon Letson, and talk about Planting Day, which is coming up in a couple of weeks. Sharon, thanks for joining me tonight.
Hi, Tony.
We talk a lot. People may not know, if you're really not from the Youngstown area, you may not know what Youngstown CityScape is. So can you kind of start where how you got started and where you guys are today?
Well, it's been a whirlwind. Our Streetscape event, which is an event that Youngstown CityScape holds every year, is our actual annual planting. But we'll back up. So since 1998, we have been the nonprofit organization, really Community Development Corporation, who has been invested in our downtown. In those beginning days, they were just small beautification projects, planting flowers, mulching, sweeping up, and that's really how we started.
How did this event come about? I think when people's like, there's always that one person with the idea to clean up a certain area or to show, hey, we need to do something about our area or our city.
Well, really, it began as a joint effort with Youngstown State University. Then the university president, Les Cochran, and his wife, Lynn Cochran, really, they lived in Penguin Place, which was almost to the downtown. They really saw the need for the university and our downtown to join. And they really addressed what we, in those beginning days, called the broken window syndrome, that we all needed to take a part, we all needed to do a part in truly beautifying our city. And I think back then, the university understood that however the city went, the university would go, and vice versa. So that it was important for them to be on the same team and working to beautify. And in those days, it was 24 people with flowers and mulch and rakes and sweeping the streets and small visible projects that could make a difference.
Well, and we look at that and kind of if you want to really look at it, 23, 24 years later, we're still at it, and the event only gets bigger. And for the record, I've been involved probably since 2005 or 6. So I've been kind of there every year, just either mulching. I mean, there wasn't very many of us back then compared to what there is now.
Well, and yeah, pre-pandemic, we were up to 700 people on the Saturday after Memorial Day, planting our downtown, but even Smoky Hollow, up in the Wick Park neighborhood, Crandall Park, and then the neighborhood groups who are all doing their bit in their part of town, their side of town too. So
and I think it shows like one idea can evolve into a community effort, and I think that's what you guys have shown and really been the force behind that. You've been involved for a long time. How did you kind of get started in this?
Well, I had someone call me and say I had my mother was ill and I had quit my previous job, which was leadership Mahoning Valley, youth leadership Mahoning Valley. And they said they had this opportunity and would I consider interviewing for the position? And I did. And the people that interviewed me were David Sweet, then the university president, a couple of the bank presidents, I think the head of the chamber. But they had really identified that they wanted to go. Previously, it had always been all volunteer driven. And they wanted to address some further things. And through their formalized board, they wanted to hire an executive director. So that
And,
was like 19 years ago.
and you're still doing what you do best.
Well, it's a great job. It lines up to the mission of I think myself. It's the kind of thing that, because it's so visual. So all the projects that we're involved with typically are things that are very visual. And you think about beautification, and you think about projects, you think about flowers, and you think about cleaning up. But it's much, much more than that. It's things like making sure lights are on that might have burnt out over the years.
Yeah.
It's a project like Wick Avenue that we fought to imagine that we could bury the lines, and it could be game changing for our community. Um,
Well,
you know,
and I
it's
think it
much
shows.
more, right?
Yeah, and I think it shows because we've added the Christmas lights over the years.
Mhm.
We've branched out from just, I guess, with the city and parks with the tree to
Right.
lighting. Now you're looking at most of downtown, give or take, on some of the main thoroughways. And I think with the extra addition to the Youngstown Foundation Theater, or I'm sorry, amphitheater, the Cavelli, it kind of all brought that together. And your organization has done more than what people think when they drive down. Wow, look at all these beautiful things, but don't think of that. They may think it's like the city, but it's actually a group, a collaboration of city and nonprofit, a private partnership.
Well, I think that that's the key part of all of this, and I think that's the role that our board has played, is that we've been able to help connect the dots. We've been able to, make some, like our holiday parade, make some things happen because of the partnerships that we've made along the many years. The other relationships that we think are important, besides the city and but our downtown businesses, how critical they are in how the people that come to our city, the people that go to a wow, the people that are at the Butler Museum. I mean, we want to put our best foot forward all the time, and I think it's critical for all of us to work together to be able to do that.
And I think it shows the partnerships and the bridges that you've been able to create over the years. As this, I remember when I got there, there may have only been 150 volunteers,
Right.
and we were like scattered, like all over, like two here, and you really had a lot of work to do, but you did it because you love the city. Now you got groups of droves of people that come for the city, but I think what people realize is it now branches out into the community areas, into the wards, and as well as into some of the townships and around the area, because they're almost doing it the exact same time you guys are doing it.
Well, I think that again, when the university and the city joined, and we began to look at how important we all was to the success of all the things that we're doing, as you keep reaching out, our whole valley realizes how important how you look, how you're perceived by your visitors is critical in the success of your city, in the success of your businesses, in the success of your museums, your hotels. I mean, all of those things play a key role.
And I think with a variety of different businesses moving downtown, you got the hotel that was added a couple of years ago. You got a variety of other amphitheater and some other businesses, the YBI buying another portion of the old Vindicator building. And so they have 5 or 6 buildings on a campus downtown. Right. And with Youngstown State there, you really see a branching out of the community in general, because back then, maybe 2008, 2009, Youngstown was not like it is now.
We've seen a lot of changes in the wow. I mean, I remember 18 years ago, before the Cavelli Center was here, a group of us were looking with the university students to see, as a city, what we needed to prepare to have an amphitheater in our downtown. And I think it's just grown from that to now Ween Park, and all of the other things that are happening.
Yeah, I remember serving on the Park and Rec Commission for the city of Youngstown, and
Mhm.
I chaired it for about a year or so. And my biggest thing is if the city of Warren is doing well with their amphitheater, why can't the city of Youngstown have their own amphitheater next to their Cavelli Center? So I think that was a great asset that we received.
Right, right. And
It,
again, I think these things, you keep lining up your successes, and the one and when new businesses come to town, I always say it'll be good for everyone. It's not competition. It's more people coming to have different experiences, to spend money in our city, and it's good. It's good for our city. It's good for our valley.
well, when you can go to the Oh Wow with your kids and then go to V2 or
Mhm.
O'Donnell's or the hot dog place, so you're spending money because you park and you're just going to stay there, like the Cavelli. You park your car there, you're going to eat downtown or within the area and walk right to the Cavelli Center. I mean, people may think when they walk, it's like, oh, 4 blocks. It's really not that far.
Yeah, no, no, we live in a very walkable city. That's another project we worked on over the years. Is we actually have walking tour signs placed throughout the downtown, that people can walk, QR code, have a little history, put all the pieces together of our downtown, which is really, as people come and stay at our hotel, more and more we know people are using those, which
And
is.
that's good. And so in a couple weeks, June 5th, we'll be having our
Mhm.
planting day,
Yep.
Youngstown's planting day for Youngstown Cityscape. What's the theme this year?
It's a cute one. The real stimulus.
Oh boy, we always can find some interesting themes out of our
Well,
group.
we have a committee, one of which you are a part of, Tony, and our committee, meets all year long to plan this event and to pull it together. And one of their jobs is to come up with a theme. The community support is tremendous, twofold, both in volunteers and in donations. The corporate individual support is tremendous, um, financially, but also there's a whole component of families, businesses, groups who come, plant an area, and then they watch that area grow all summer long after they plant.
I think
Um,
that's what we get. We get a lot of those people that, I mean, I'll be walking down the street with in the past, some young professionals, and they're like, oh, yeah, we
mhm,
planted all that. And they see
mhm.
it 3 months later, and it's really spruced out.
Right. Well, and I always say to people, it's just like your home garden. The easy part, the first part is the easiest to plant. It's keeping it going, and we have a tremendous outside crew who do a fabulous job. Do a fabulous job.
So we have planting on June 5th, Saturday,
Mhm.
June 5th. So what is that going? So if anyone knows, we're going to follow what's going to happen now.
Okay.
So talk to us about what's going to happen on June 5th because we're coming out of pandemic restrictions, but I know there's going to be some other things in place
Right.
for what's going on. So talk about the day itself and what you guys are doing and how people can help.
Okay, so typically, so our day is not quite as typical as in years past, because anyone who's done this day knows that we meet for breakfast and then we have lunch all together to sort of celebrate our hard work. This year we're not going to meet. We actually, when you sign up, we're going to assign you to an area. You'll go right to your area. You'll plant, and you will work. Um, all of our downtown businesses for years have donated food to this event. And this year, we've decided that what we'll do is we will buy gift cards and give those to the workers. So that way, it's a way for us to help support our downtown restaurants, our downtown businesses, and still be able to say thank you to our volunteers who are making our city beautiful.
So if someone wants to get involved, what do they have to do?
Well, go to our website, sign up. There's a form to sign up. Put your t-shirt size down. If you have an area you'd like to work on, you can put that down. We will, as I said, we will send you an email before the event and let you know exactly where you'll be working. So we're not going to have any big gathering of people. Instead, we're going to, and we're going to move around the city. We'll deliver water to you where you are. We'll get your gift cards out to you that when you're working, and that way, you know, we won't gather, but we'll try to keep it a little bit separated.
What do you guys offer? Will you guys still be offering supplies, gloves, bags?
We have gloves, we have bags, we have t-shirts for the first 500. We didn't expect to be near 500 this year because there are people who still have concerns about crowds at all. So I think we're at like 350 the last I looked at our numbers. So, and typically we get a lot of volunteers in the end. So we may still be up around 500. To me, this day really is about this public-private partnership. We have city workers that come that are part of the day. We have mulch that we have staged downtown and we get it moved around in the days before. We have a 4-H group that comes and always works up in Wick Park. We have different businesses who always put a team together. I mean, it's really sort of a done in a day project. It starts at 9 o'clock in the morning and you'll be home by noon. We have a committee who starts much earlier than 9 o'clock who deliver all the flowers.
5:30,
yeah,
5:36.
Yeah, and get everything staged and ready to go. We'll have some sort of seasoned members that will be out. We'll have diagrams showing people how to plant, what to plant where. And I always say whenever there are volunteers, there's no wrong way. And don't be offended if a master gardener helps you to plant exactly where they think things should go. But it's really a fun day, and it's a fun day for families. It's a fun day, like I said, for teams of work, Girl Scout troop, usually Boy Scout troops. We have 4-H. So, and you know, we have some tremendous downtown support. Our banks, YBI. I mean, all of our stakeholders in our downtown. That really the university, the hospital, the university usually puts together a huge team of alumni that sort of lay claim to Federal Street and really do a beautiful job there. The hospital works on their sort of corridor over in that part of town and gets everything beautiful and that. And, you know, with the work that's being done this year on our Smart 2, our build project, they're working on Fifth Avenue now, but then they'll go to Front Street, Phelps, Commerce, and then finally to Federal Street. I mean, you're talking about an upgrade to our downtown that we haven't had for probably 20 years, probably longer than that.
I mean, I think, and I hate to say this, but it's like it's actually convenient that they've been building on Fifth Avenue, because normally that place would be jam-packed with cars, either for football games, the campus itself. But because of the pandemic, everyone's either home or working from home or just not at the university.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So yes, it's been a quieter year due to the pandemic. And so it really has worked out that Fifth Avenue is being done right now. And you know, it's going to be it's going to be game changing. It's going to have middle beds coming down, beautiful side areas, it's going to be game changing.
I like to say more for Sharon to take care of.
Well, we're figuring, as a city, we're figuring that out of how we maintain this large investment in our community, and how that'll all play out.
What have you learned from all this? What do you take out over the 18 years or 19 years you've been with Youngstown CityScape? What do you take away from all this?
Oh, that we have the best people in Youngstown, first of all. We have the best people in our valley. They support good things. They have been very good to our organization. And by that, I mean the individual little lady, retired lady, widowed lady, who for years would get a money order to make sure that she sent her donation in for every streetscape, to the corporate support with people in the corporate world who understand for their business how critical the work is that we do, that we can't get to a point where we would have these restaurants and down if we didn't have a place that people wanted to come to, that looked beautiful, and as I said, with this new build grant, it's our chance to get our infrastructure and the amenities that we just have been patching over the last decade, really to have an upgrade and to really make a critical difference for more businesses and for more places to come as a visitor to our city, more things to see and do and experience.
Well, Sharon, I thank you for taking time. I know you're in busy mode right now with a couple weeks to go. For the viewers, one last time, if they want to find out about volunteer opportunities or date and time, where do they go?
Well, you can go to our Youngstown CityScape website, or you can also call our office if you're not you don't want to go to the computer, 330-742-4040.
Well, Sharon, thank you very much for your time. I hope to see you I think we have a meeting this week.
We do.
Okay. But I hope to see you. We will talk soon, everyone. If you want more information, youngstowncityscape.com or .org.
.com.
.com. Sharon, it's always a pleasure. And I'll see you in a couple of days for our meeting.
Right. Thanks,
If you want more interviews, podcasts, or announcements, please go to anthonyvspano.com. Sharon, thank you. Everyone, stay safe and God